everybody. Welcome back to Boat Full Sailing. I'm here with Canadian Ken. Naturally, it is a rainy, snowy, cruddy day, but we found ourselves inside a heated boat barn down in South Thomaston, Maine, checking out a 2011 Muscongus Bay 18. It's one of two ever made, and it is exquisite. Perhaps the coolest boat we've ever seen.
Absolutely one of the prettiest boats we've ever seen. I can't wait to show it to you. The owner is just an amazing man. Not only did he design this, but he's also has a company that does these high-end speakers, high-end turntables. So, he has electrical engineering, mechanical engineering. This guy can do anything. The attention to the details here. He loves ellipses, for example. So you'll see a lot of the things designed here in the shape of an ellipse. There you have it.
It is insane. So we're basically gobsmacked by this boat. And it's very reminiscent of a Buzzards Bay 14, which it's based on. He used to sail around in one, but then he decided it wasn't lively enough, so he took it upon himself to design his own boat, which this is. And it's very reminiscent of Herreshoff boats and dark harbor designs, so you're going to see a lot of familiar looks about it, but it's completely unique to itself, and it is really, really a stunner. So it's going to be fun to check it out.
Yeah, let's check it out.
All right, let's go down on the hard first, because this cockpit is too pretty for us to sit in. All right, before we get going, we should start with the fact that this boat is coming on the market for the first time, and we're announcing it here at Boat Full Sailing. Her asking price, $65,000. Now, before you fall out of your chair, hang in with us for a second, okay? If you want to have one of Chuck Payne's new design Levant 15s, that's going to set you back $120,000. You want to build a 12.5-foot Herreshoff out of fiberglass, you're going to start at $60,000 for one of those boats. And there are any number of like Herreshoffs and dark harbors that are out there for sale, anywhere from $20,000 to $160,000. So the range is all over the place. What makes this boat special? Carbon fiber. Beautiful wood accents, carbon fiber hull and top sides, extra layer of Kevlar below the waterline, excuse me. Unbelievable. So overall, her length is 18 feet 1 inch. Her length on the waterline is just shy of 14 feet. Her beam is 5 feet 10 inches. Her draft, 2 feet 6 inches. So this boat's really designed for sailing on a lake or a protected bay somewhere. She's got a pretty low freeboard, which you can see here. Nice shallow draft for lake sailing. You can take her on the ocean on those fairer days, but it's absolutely beautiful. And everything on this boat is custom, from the cleats to the chocks to your jib club bearing here. And your jib club, by the way, your boom here is also carbon fiber. But this goes on like that, it has a pin in it, so we're not going to put it on. But this is custom made so it doesn't rise up when you sail downwind. So in fact, it'll stay horizontal through most of the transition all the way around when you're sailing downwind to give you better sail performance and better sail tuning capabilities. Really cool. And it's made to look like Sitka spruce, but it's actually carbon fiber. This is all bronze. Really amazing. The tabernacle, which we'll see when we go up on deck, is also custom. Basically, like we said, everything's custom, right?
And elliptical.
And elliptical. Really, really beautiful. All this wood is hand carved. And the beauty of this boat is just beyond compare. A nice spade rudder here, also carbon fiber. And the boat's name is Tracie, and I don't know if we'll be able to get in there, Ken, to see the transom, but it is made out of wood and has the name Tracie on there, and it's really, really pretty.
Wow.
Now, the only spar that's made out of wood is your boom, which is also Sitka, which is really beautiful. And then your mast, up here in the rafters, carbon fiber, made to look like Sitka spruce. Unbelievable. She's a fractional rig, and I did some calculating, and her displacement's about 1,340 pounds. She's got 140 square feet of sail area. So her sail area displacement, as I calculate that quickly in my head, is about 18.4. So she's going to be a quick, lively boat in those nice lake conditions. It's going to be ideal for light air sailing, moderate air sailing, and she will stand up in a breeze. She's a pretty stiff boat. So what do you say, Ken? Should we go up on deck?
I don't know. Your shoes off?
Shoes are off.
All right.
This is a first for us at Boat Fools, but this boat deserves it because it is. I'm sweating just thinking about getting on this. It's so pretty, but it's really a special boat. She's a nice burgundy red. I don't know if you can really pick that up.
We'll have some photos we can show you too. But oh, look at the color. It's just exquisite. Really,
you can see a reflection in there. I mean, it's really, really something. All right, let's go up on deck. All right, just to avoid any confusion, the name Muscongus Bay does not come from Muscongus Bay on the ocean, which is an area that resides between Penobscot Bay and Johns Bay. The Muscongus Bay that this boat is named after is actually a section on Damascotta Lake in Jefferson/Noblesboro, Maine. So she was originally designed to be a lake-going boat. But speaking of that, let's look at the design for a second, okay? So right now you're seeing an image of the Muscongus Bay 18 with a outline of the Buzzards Bay 14 overlaid on her, which was the inspiration for this boat. You can see the Buzzards Bay 14 here in red. Now, immediately you'll see that the shear is very similar, the bow shape is similar, the reverse transom is very similar, but as soon as you get below the waterline, everything changes. The Buzzards Bay 14 has more of a full keel with a cutaway forefoot and a transom hung rudder, and the Muscongus Bay 18 has a much more slippery and modern look with a fin keel and a spade rudder. She's also a little more teardrop shaped versus the Buzzards Bay 14. So this is where the planning started. And then here you can see her with her full sail plan and standing rigging schematic, which is really cool. And then it went from here to a three-dimensional CAD design. Now you can really see this boat coming to life, including the sort of the color schematic. But what a neat way to see a project that you are developing come to life like this. And the seller did all of this, but he wasn't alone. He had some help along the way. In fact, he brought these plans to Ed Joy Design in Camden to have him tweak and make sure that everything was set as it should be. And not only that, he also had the likes of Bruce King of Erickson Yachts fame also take a look at it and give his stamp of approval. So there are many hands on deck on this. Now, here you have an image of the plug being shaped, which is really, really cool to see. So this is the project really coming to life here. And then in this next shot, you see the mold being made. So here's the plug and here's the mold being removed from it. And now it is game on to develop this boat even further. In this next scene, you see her in the water and they're checking her lines to make sure she's on her water line and all is well in terms of her floating and becoming the boat that she's going to become in this next scene. So here she is in her completed state, complete with her carbon fiber jib boom and roller furling. Now, as I mentioned, you had Ed Joy Design involved, you had Bruce King, you also had Maine Professions, you had Englishman Marine, and French and Webb all have a hand in bringing this boat to fruition. So it was all hands on deck, a really neat process for the seller, and you can see that a lot went into making this boat what she is today. All right, so we're up in the cockpit looking forward onto the foredeck here in the bow, and just looking at the craftsmanship, you can really see the love put into this boat. As we said, all this hardware is custom, and you've got the beautiful wood accents around your coach roof here. Here's your mast step, and there's a great tabernacle on this, so apparently you can raise this mast with two people pretty readily. And all your lines are led aft here, and look at this woodwork, Ken. I mean, off the charts, right?
Yeah. And then there's this little escutcheon plate over here he designed, custom
also
design.
Custom. You've got some cam cleats behind that. And I don't know if you can see this, Ken, right here, but while we're here, nice cedar planking on the inside to give that wood feel throughout the boat. So if you didn't know better, you would think this entire boat was made out of wood. And then here's a companionway that I may or may not
Give it a whirl. I think you can do it.
Want me to go in?
No, we're good.
But
I love how the doors go inside. So there's the battery, because this is an electric motor. At one point, he had like a 2.5 Yamaha in there that he had modified, but now he's got the electric in there, and it's going to just burn.
How cool is that? So even the attention to detail in here is better than most boats. I mean, it's nuts. So sorry for that squeaky noise. The varnish is so well polished that
Look at his seamanship here, too. All the lines nicely coiled.
Nicely coiled. Here's a look into your bilge. Now, there is a bilge pump, but the boat does not leak. But you will note that keel bolts are in there, so all that is good. There is a solar panel on this that trickle charges the battery to run the bilge pump and the motor at all times. All right, now I'm sitting at the helm of this beautiful boat, and you'll note immediately this is a little raised right here, and it was designed that way to accommodate the original gas outboard. And this was the gas fill access point. Now, it has the electric engine that Ken mentioned, so you no longer needed all this space, but it's a happy coincidence because this boat is so well balanced, you can rest your elbow here and steer with one finger. It's unbelievable. And apparently, this boat sails better than she looks. I would love to find out. So if someone buys it, please invite us for a sail. So moving on, check this out, Ken. Look at these amazing little doors here that open up to your electric engine. You've got a voltmeter here and a solar panel, which is the one we mentioned that trickle charges everything. And that plugs in right up under here. So when you leave the boat, you can just plug in your solar panel, leave it on the seat here, and off you go. He doesn't cover the boat, and as we mentioned, she doesn't leak. So the only water that you're going to get is in your bilge. So that bilge pump is always charged because of that solar panel. But your main sheet is right here. It's a triangular setup, so there's no traveler system, and a beautiful fantail. But look at this. Even this is all custom.
Oh, so beautiful.
So
and
beautiful.
he loves sort of like the elliptical shapes. You'll notice those nice curved. Everything's nice and curved. It's just, again,
It's like the Vineyard Vixen.
Yeah.
The only straight lines are the mast and the water line on this boat. Everything else has a supple curve to it. It's really amazing. And the other thing I wanted to mention about the carbon fiber construction is that it's cored, so it's extremely stiff.
So at the top of the show, we mentioned that 2 of these were built. So where is that second one now?
Oh, that's a really good question, Ken. So the second one actually is made out of fiberglass. Her name is Raven, and she sails up on Damariscotta Lake, where this boat sailed. And so one of the ideas apparently behind this was to build a one design fleet of the Muscongus Bay 18s. So if anyone's interested, the mold for this is also for sale. It's sold separately. I don't know what the price is. You'll have to ask the seller. But it'd be so stinking cool if there was a fleet of these. And if anyone buys this, please take us sailing because it's just so lovely. And like we said, apparently it sails better than it looks, and I would like to prove that. It's really neat. So that mold is available, and I don't want this to end. So what else can we look at, Ken?
I know. It's just so beautiful. I mean, just so comfortable just sitting in here.
I know it, especially since it's heated.
Yes.
This is new for us. All right, so what do you say? Should we wrap it up?
Yeah, let's go wrap it up.
All right.
Right on.
Well, Kenneth, what did you think?
Really one of the most beautiful boats I've seen, and just the attention to detail, it really is phenomenal. Now this was made for Andy's wife, Tracie, and when she finally saw it, the smile on her face is kind of the ones we've had on all day. It's that special a boat.
Exactly right, and she didn't know it was being built, so he totally surprised her. So yeah, it's a smile that we'll never forget seeing. Yeah, what a special boat. I mean, absolutely gobsmacked by this, and I really want to say fantastic, but you're trying to broaden my horizons with my vocabulary. So what book are we looking at today?
Well, we've got a Dostoevsky Crime and Punishment that I thought was, would work. So Gulag-ishes is what we're going to call that.
Gulag-ishes, which means incomparable. There's nothing quite like this boat for its size and its beauty. It's really spectacular, and I'm so psyched we got to see this, and I really hope someone gets this and takes us for a sail because it's a special boat.
Yeah, it's not something that we usually do, so this is really a special.
Yeah, exactly.
Boat.
We know it's expensive, but it's special enough that we thought everyone should see it, and that's why we're sharing it with you today. So Andy's contact information will be in the description below. Yeah, this is a special buy, obviously, but we thought it was absolutely perfect to share with our fan base at Boatful Sailing. So speaking of that, please don't forget to sign up for the newsletter. The support has been great. Please don't forget to click like. Please share. We're trying to get to 20,000 subscribers, so help us get there, and we'll see you next time. And how's the headroom in there?
It's a tad tight. Tight, but it'll work.
Yeah, I mean,
If you're a hobbit.
right, if you're a hobbit, but if you needed to get out of the weather, you could.
Now go away.